and do the same tactics and the same strategies.
I like what you said. That really makes a lot of sense. That is a good approach. But here's another thing, playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Some things I feel, and I might be wrong, because some people may be able to learn this on their own, but there's certain disciplines that I feel as if, you know what, hey, I learned it in college. I learned it by, you know, I learned mostly, I guess, in a formal setting about marketing. I was getting my master's degree. But when it came to finance, I was like, whoa, there's no way I could really understand finance by just researching it online. You know, profit and loss. All these different things. So, you know, it almost seems as if there's certain things that you can read about, especially in the digital world. Okay, if you understand, I guess, sales, and you say, okay, I want to read about marketing and all these different channels, the digital channels, website design, SEO, social media, all of this other stuff. There's so much online that you can read about and say, oh, you know, I really get that. Now I just have to apply my talent to do that. But with finance, it was almost as if, it's almost like, whoa, how can you really learn finance?
You know, I think you're talking about a technical expertise, right? I mean, marketing is super logical. And I tell clients that all the time when I have a conversation. You know, marketing should be able to be explained to you in a logical way that it makes sense. And if you're a logical person, I think that you can figure out marketing. Just like you said, you could read a book about it. I mean, honestly, you could read about 50 books and they'll tell you 50 different things. But through that, you really have to use your logic and reasoning to understand what the strategies are and how to build that for yourself. To your point, finance, it's a little more cut and dry. It's a little bit more specific, and it's more of a learned technique rather than logic-based. So there's a lot less wiggle room.
Yeah, that's a good point. Man, you always just have this way of saying the things in a simple way. I really have to work on it. I just make everything simple. Yeah, I got to work on that. You know what? I'm going to start going around and just trying to say as few words as possible. I'm just going to get into the habit. When I'm at home, I'm just going to think and think and then think, how can I say this like in a few words?
I can't do that. I talk probably faster than I think.
I'm the same way, too. It makes me sound like an idiot.
Well, you know, there's a balance.
What did you just
say? There's always a balance. But, I mean, when it comes to experience, so, okay, I think we can both agree that if marketing is more logical than it is technique-driven, what are the experiences that help you build up that logical thought process so that you become a good marketer? And I think you touched on one earlier, being sales. You know, marketing and sales go hand in hand. If you understand, you know, thought process, how to convince someone, what are, you know, good arguments you can make, and how do people connect with you, which is all sales skills, those translate to marketing. They totally translate with the message and how you connect with an audience. I think that's critical.
Anything else besides sales?
I think understanding business, you know, overall business objectives, how the business functions, and how marketing taps into it. That's a key strategy that I use all the time when evaluating marketing and looking for opportunities in marketing, is understanding the business first, understanding what the business goals and objectives are, because marketing has to help support the business. And if you don't understand the business, your marketing is not going to do anything for you.
Oh, my gosh. Everybody that's listening to me talk, whether it's on this podcast or the other one, that is such a pet peeve of mine. And there are so many self-made digital marketers that don't even touch on the business, especially I think when it comes to the social media realm. The ones out there that I think have become thought leaders and people will know who they are, just look it up on Forbes or Entrepreneur Magazine. They actually have understood business and are able to develop their strategies based off of the business objectives and goals. So that is huge. And that's a pet peeve of mine when I just hear of, you know, people come to me and are like, you know, I was wanting to get some digital marketing done, and they never once took the time to understand my business or my business objectives. So are you kidding me? How can you do that?
Then how do you know if it's good? If you don't understand the business objectives, then why are you doing it?
Well, I think it's the lack of education. People know it's the thing that they need to do, and there's so much noise out there about it, and there's so many different, I mean, it's a flooded market. So businesses, especially young business owners, really don't have the time to spend learning about how to identify a good marketer. I just don't think that they understand especially the digital realm. They just don't understand it. They don't understand email. Email. It's a big list. Let me shove out emails. They don't understand the process.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I mean, because now we're looking at experience as a way of evaluating how good a marketer is, right? And I think we both agree that you can't solely, rely on someone's experience to determine whether they're a good marketer or not.
Yes. I agree.
I'm in agreement with that. I think we always come back to that question is, what is a good marketer? How do you determine a good marketer? And I think it's your ability to understand, explain. We go back to understanding the logic or understanding the objectives or understanding the business situation. And I think it's how can they convey their understanding of the discipline in a way that you understand and makes you feel comfortable with it.
That's true. And that's, I think we talked about this before, that's actually the results of a study that was done recently. We had talked about that many companies were having a hard time hiring good digital marketers for a lack of business proficiency, a lack of an understanding of all the different disciplines, and a lack of creativity combined. They said we can't.
That's like the triple threat.
Well, it is, but and I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn, but but it I'm a left brain, right brain type of person. I mean, I write music. I've written poems. I had a photography business for over 10 years. So I have that creative side. Not everybody, a lot of people can say, hey, I'm creative and I'm also able to think logically in business. You'll find a lot of creatives out there, and I'm not saying all, so don't anybody get all bent out of shape. A lot of creatives are very good at creating art or whatever they do. When it comes to the business sense, that's where they're lacking, and it's vice versa. A lot of business people have a hard time being creative because they are so logical. So I think maybe I was just blessed with that, with that left brain, right brain type of thing. But it is difficult. I can see how companies have a challenge in finding all three of these.
I agree. I mean, that's actually what drew me to advertising and marketing to begin with, is being able to use business applications for a creative execution. And balancing those two strategies is really difficult.
Say that again. A business application for a creative solution?
Yep. Creative solutions for a business application.
Well, creative solution for a business. Man, I like that. Is that your tagline?
Okay.
That's good.
Actually, it's probably been about my tagline since I was 13.
Really? Oh, girl, you need to keep that.
Well,
you better copyright that if this thing is going out to the...
That's okay.
Wow. Okay, so
you heard it here first.
What's that?
You heard it here first. Yeah, you do. You need to have creative solutions. You need to have that creative, artistic talent in order to create something compelling and unique and breaking through the environment. But if you don't apply it to a business foundation or business solutions and you don't have that business viewpoint, then it's just art. And if you're too business heavy and you're not thinking creatively, then it's never going to work. You're never going to reach your audience. So balancing those two, really critical. How you get those experience between artistic expression and a solid understanding of business, I think is up to you. Working in marketing and advertising is definitely one way to see firsthand. But like anything, you really need to have a solid understanding and be able to think critically about what you're seeing and why it's working and how to improve it. Because like any discipline, if you don't make it your own and if you don't work at expanding your knowledge, you're never going to be an expert in that field.
You said it all. No, that's good. That's really good. I think kind of to sum up here, so we're saying you need to have an understanding of different disciplines outside of just marketing, understanding sales and the sales process, And you brought up a good point. How do you get that experience? I think that, if you find that you're really strong on one area or, heavily weighted on one side, find yourself a mentor that may understand that area that you're not so strong in. If it happens to be business, identify a good mentor that understands business and have them, explain it to you so that you can, sit down with a business owner and ask those tough questions. Somebody that you trust, someone that's not to say, oh, you're a crappy, so I'm not going to hire you. Someone that probably does not even going to hire you anyway. But ask them, what do you think about in business? How do you make ends meet on a day-to-day basis? What are the things that go into your decision making? And start to learn those things. I think that's valuable.
Totally agree. I think you just covered it. You covered what you need to learn and what you need to know, and a couple different avenues to get there. So to all those young marketers out there and advertisers, go learn about business, go learn about sales, go learn about advertising, but really make sure that you're forming your own opinion, you're thinking critically about it, and you always bring logic to the forefront. Never hurts.
That's great. I really hope some young people are listening to this because I know there's a lot of aspiring young marketers out there. And if you really want to set yourself apart from the rest, listen to what Megan just said. Those are three really good points to go out there and learn. So, hey, I think that's it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I think we've agreed on these things. So, do you need experience to be a good marketer?
You don't need marketing experience, but you do need experience.
Oh, boom. There you go. That's great. There you go.
There we go. I think that's something we can both agree on.
Yes, definitely. So, hey, I hope everybody really enjoyed this episode of the Social MBA and that you did, in fact, learn something. I mean, do you think it was a good one, Megan?
Fantastic. I hope they learned a bit about marketing. They're on their journey.
Yep, me too. So, anyway, I think we're going to sign off, and we'll get this on the air very soon. And thank you, everybody, so much for listening to the Social MBA. We've really enjoyed talking to you about marketing, about business. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment. You can look myself and Megan up in the bio or the description section of each podcast. So if you want to get in touch with Megan, who is an email marketing specialist and a great strategist, look her up on her website. Of course, I do digital marketing, social media, advocacy marketing. Feel free to reach out to us. We are available for work and for speaking engagements. And anything else, Megan, are we available for?
And consultations. I love talking about marketing. I do. I'm really passionate about it, and I hope that comes through on this podcast. But, if you have marketing questions or you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know. We're here to help.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Megan. Hey, everybody.
No problem.
Have an awesome rest of the week. And as always, I'm Frank, and
I'm Megan.
We're signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.